it begins. Turn the world into grooves. We twist in the vibe. Hit the bell, like, and subscribe to the tribe.
All right, good morning, everybody.
Our stories and smoke, art and remedy.
Should be live.
That's the inside joke.
Let's see what we got here. Oh no, open back up. All right, good morning, everybody. I think I got everything going here.
Carving covers that gleam so tight. Aliens watching from the edge of sight.
Hey, good morning, good morning. Hey, the early bird. Good morning, Mr. Johnny. Good morning, Jonathan.
Like and subscribe, watch the mood improve.
Oh, goodness. Hey, it's not as chilly this morning. Good morning. Allison. I think I got that right. Stressful Mom Paints is Allison. I do believe. If not, I'm terribly sorry. Who with names, but I'm getting there.
Grumpy's carving skills are world renowned. Stress gets carved with every groove. Like and subscribe, watch the mood improve. They touch the tools, they knock stuff down. Little green hands trying to steal the crown, but with every
might need to turn the music down this morning. I had it jamming the other. Yeah, it was right. Cool deal. Getting there. See, I'm getting better. Not gonna lie, I have a notebook with a cheat sheet that's got a bunch of different channel names on there and then people's actual names. And then I try not to use that, but I use that when I have to. But I don't have everybody on there. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna do some pyrography this morning. Still waiting on my daggone dust collection stuff. Actually, I have to call, email, however the heck I can get in touch with people these days. Amazon to see what's going on. They haven't took no money for it yet, and it's supposed to be delivered between the 3rd and the 7th, and here we are, the 1st, you know, so it's like I don't see them delivering or anything at the scheduled time at this point. I wanted to cancel the order and redo it not long ago, but I was afraid they were going to charge me anyway, and then it would be a double charge on my account. So I've been trying to wait a little bit, and I've been checking their order status every day, and it hasn't changed. It says it's arriving the 3rd to the 7th. So we'll see. I'll get up with them a little bit later. Turn that down just a touch. It might not be as bad now. Well, how was everybody's weekend? I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. I'm gonna be sore. I got up underneath the sink last night. Our kitchen faucet has been dripping at the little on and off valves for a minute. And you can adjust it just right and it stopped, but over the Thanksgiving time we was cooking and using the kitchen a whole lot more than normal, and so it took a little too much abuse. So we'd gotten a new faucet, and I just been procrastinating trying to put it on because I can't do them yoga positions too good no more. Underneath that kitchen sink ain't nothing but yoga. So yeah, almost got it on there, got the new faucet put in. And then, let's see, got the new faucet put in and was hooking the water lines up. Got the hot water line on there, no problem, but I cross-threaded the cold water lines. Ended up having to call somebody to come over to help me out. And had to replace the cold water line altogether. Hi, good morning, Robert. Oh, you're up this early, and that means you couldn't sleep last night, huh? I hope you're doing okay. But yeah, we ended up getting it done, and it ain't dripping or leaking nowhere. I've been checking under the faucet or under the cabinet, make sure none of the lines have been dripping. So good so far. I'm getting my little morning meds ready here, and then I'll start to burning. I want to get with it. See if I can't get this one almost done. Started that alien one that I did. It's just the lines on that one are so wide, and it's got a little bit of detail on there. And like I said, I'm 50-50 on my drawing. Hey, good morning, Billy. And so whenever I look at it, let me show y'all what I got so far. This is gonna be a Wednesday video, but this is the one I'm doing. And then that's what I got on it so far. So I gotta go through and widen out my lines a little bit, I guess, and then add some of this detail that's in there right through here. And that's what's messing with me. I don't know if I need to try to make my outline wider to go with it, or if I just leave it the way it is and then just start shading it and see what happens. Not quite sure how I'm gonna address that one. And I guess it's gonna depend on the mood I'm in once I get to it. I can't see. Well, busy like crazy this weekend. Went to bed early. I did that too. I went to bed early, but that still didn't make no difference for me. I guess I was too medicated when I went to bed. I didn't want to wake up this morning. That alarm went off, so I got to move. Past 2 times I've set my alarm for my early bird lives. It woke the wife up. It's like, oh great. It's not what I want to do, but I don't think it woke her up this morning. Outline wider. Put the focus on the top of the head. Life is feeling so grand out here. With every spin the world feels clear. The smell of cedar. What do you mean, put more detail up into the top part of it and focus on his head, basically? That's what I'm gathering. Sounds about right. But see, this is what gets me, is with my drawing skills and whatnot, I'm not good at shadow play and all that stuff. And I just throw an image up there and start scribbling on it until I think it looks good. But, you know, trying to figure out which direction the light's coming from and throwing my shadow and my shade everywhere like that, I've never been good at that. Home Depot Black Friday. Oh, I could imagine. I didn't even think about that. That's the thing about me. I don't think I could work in the public when you got a bunch of yahoos in there acting crazy like that. No, sir. give me a stun gun, one of them little old blank pistols. I don't want no real ammo. I just want one of the pistols that shoots them blanks to catch everybody's attention. Pow, pow, pow. Because yeah, them idiots get too bad on themselves. I know they used to, and then nowadays, shit, it's like Black Friday sale every day. Yeah. I stay at home. Stay away from people. Grumpy don't like that money people. Not in a big old chaotic crowd like that when everybody's trying to hustle and get somewhere, like they ain't gonna get no. I even get tongue tied thinking about it. Top of your people. coffee. Yep. All right. All right, let's see here. I need to prop open the back door. Oh. Say hello to the boogeyman out there. It's crazy. Dark as dark can be out there still. Gotta get these fumes out of here. I'm burning that daggum plywood and you got all that glue and stuff in there. So that's not the best wood to burn on. So dang sure get you some ventilation going on. Oh, I gotta turn on my box up here. Flip. All right, switch screens on y'all. That's my little box I talk about that I gotta turn on. Little bitty box that I put a fan in. Got a little carbon filter insert that sits there, and then the inside of this right here, I got a couple of layers of that carbon cloth. My little fan kicks on, and then that pulls all the smoke up out of here. And there it is on the inside of the box. But it works. It helps anyway. Put the top of the head. I stay on all the time except for going to the grocery store. I don't even like to go to the grocery store. I'm not gonna lie. I got this. My anxiety is getting better, but it's still there. I don't think the YouTube therapy that I call it is gonna make it go away, but it's at least helping me deal with it more. But I just don't like going out nowhere. I go somewhere, I feel like all eyes are on me, like I done did something wrong, or you're judging the heck out of me and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I stay at home. And then I scan the public, like I feel like a Terminator robot or something going around. My eyeballs is looking at every damn person I see moving, because I feel like everybody's up to something. You know, it's just how my brain works. So it's like I have to keep my eye on everything, scan the situation to look for trouble or something. You know, and I can't drop that mentality when I go out and about. Oh, I imagine them poinsettias, them things I bet all them crazy old ladies was up in there buying that. Or had their husbands in there one so they wouldn't be in the doghouse. Boing. Broken wood burners loose here. I remember when I was a teenager, come close to Christmas time, the mistletoe. Yeah, everybody wants mistletoe hanging up and stuff like that. And we got that stuff growing in them oak trees and stuff around here all over the place. You just got to look up in there and look for it. It'll look like a squirrel nest at first. And then you look and, oh no, that's mistletoe. Yeah, so we used to climb the trees and get it, and we'd go set up everywhere and try to sell it come Christmas time. That was one of our little Christmas gig side hustles. Oak tree on the side of my house growing up, always had it up there in the top. And I used to get in trouble in that oak tree because my mom and dad tell me, hey, you ain't supposed to be climbing them trees. And me and my buddies, we'd climb the oak tree. And then big old branch went over the house, so we'd kind of shimmy over the branch and get onto the roof of the house, you know. They sure ain't supposed to be running around playing on the house. It's gonna mess the shingles and shit up. But kids, you don't care, right? So that's what we'd get in trouble for, being on the house. And then our dumb butts, we'd hear the vehicles coming or see them coming down the road, and we couldn't climb up in the tree quick enough to get out of the tree or off the house, so we'd have to jump off the edge of the house. So, that could be half my ankle problems, you know, who knows? Gen X, right? There you go. Mistletoe, yeah. That's an easy side hustle if you was a tree monkey. I was a tree monkey. You couldn't keep me out of them trees when I was little. We'd joke around. My mom always joked around me when I was a little bitty, told me I was half monkey, half Indian, and I can't remember what the other things, but it was three. It was half monkey, half something else, because I was always up in the tree and always running around like crazy. Hell, you could, if it said no trespassing, don't go in there, you can't do this. My crazy butt was doing it. That's how hard-headed and ornery I was. So, okay. Let's see, I want to do this one. What am I gonna go on the land? This one and this one's gonna be land. And I want them to go opposite directions. And I put it on a horizontal view this morning. I remembered to change it before I started the live instead of the vertical view. It gives y'all a little more angle of what I'm doing. Won't be as zoomed in, but you can see the whole picture today. Excuse me, y'all. Mute button, where's it at? Cosmic confession, aliens fly by, curious, no aggression. We tell them the deal, your subscription's free, no question. There we go. Chicken bone in that one. Aliens peeking, they hover and linger. At Earth, but we flip them the finger. Hey, funny thing is, Robert, I have a Tom Sawyer and a Huckleberry Road right around the corner from me. And you look me up on Google Maps, look at my address, look at the neighborhood that's right across the street from me, about a block over. You got Tom Sawyer Road, Huckleberry Finn something. So we was living them adventures on a daily. Vibrations in the air, epoxy dream solid, despair. Space-time bends when the craft takes flight. Roach clips gleam in the UFO light show. Rototherapy sessions. I want to take all these dashes this way and I'm going to put them the opposite direction right here. And naturally to hold it is this way, so to keep them going the opposite direction, that's going to play with me a bit. But that's what I want to do. I want to try to cross I don't even know how to pronounce that, but I want to do, here's the other one. I want to do them where they're opposite from one another like that, because this one here kind of jumps up 3D. And I think that's what caused it to do that, was the way the lines and the grain play with each other. And I'm trying to replicate that on the other board here. So we shall see. Oh, that's what it is. I need my glasses. And my son's got his eye appointment today, so I get to take him to that. And in doing so, I can see if they were going to try to fix my glasses. I've been having issues with this company. It's not going 2 years now, almost, it seems. Trying to get my glasses right. And he had an appointment. I've done giving up. I'm not going back up there. They've wasted enough of my time and my gas. But with my son having to go, I got to take him. So I took my glasses with me on his last appointment and brought up the fact that, yeah, y'all still ain't got them right. I said, that lady over there was doing such and such. And she looked at me and says, that lady over there don't work here no more. I said, oh, okay. And so she's going through my file trying to see if she can get me straight. She thinks she knows where they're messing up, why it's making it so awkward when I try to look through them. Because the strip barely changed. The eye doctor told me I shouldn't even notice a difference. And I put the glasses on and it's like I'm wearing somebody else's glasses. I got a high step and everything. It's crazy. But they've had my glasses for a few weeks now. Hadn't heard anything from them, so when I go up there today, I'll find out. Which would be awesome because I do need some new. My reading glasses are still okay. I got one little scratch on these, but my other glasses are just shot. All right, Mr. Johnny, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a good day at work, buddy. Stay safe.
Aliens in the smoke, they whisper truth. Medication rolled tight, sparking the roots. Chronic pain, a ghost fades in the booth.
And with my burner, I got this cord, right? And it's, what, it might be 3 foot coming off the machine, but it's kind of stiff and it gets in the way and it wants to kind of drag the end of my tool around, kind of plays with how I pull the lines and everything. So I'll grab it and kind of bunch it up close to the tip and I'll hold the wire to kind of take the pressure off the end. But that's one thing too, that if you can look for wood burners, make sure, I mean, you want a heavy wire so it don't get hot and give out on you, but you want one that's flexible enough that it don't pull on your tip. It messes with my drawing ability is what I'm trying to get at. All right, here we go, y'all. I'm procrastinating starting this because I don't want to screw it up.
Therapy in the stack, paint carved in the grain, no time to look back. Epoxy roach clips spun tight from the night. Color screaming loud, pain fused in the fight. Crafted from the chaos, hands bleed for the art. Epoxy therapy, where the healing starts.
That's almost straight down too. That's not what I want. Yes. Oh well. It's gotta be now.
Yellow sparks bright, black eats
We
the
got
light.
too
The
many
late
looking
hums
that
of
way.
him, turning wrongs to right. No looking, no dwelling, just the resonant will. The late whisper secrets only.
The little grains was grabbing my tip, pulling them almost straight on the first few pulls that I did. And that wasn't the angle I wanted. I wanted more, that's more of a slideways slant, and I wanted that, see with it almost straight, I wanted more of a slant in my line. I'll get it though. It'll come out. This is what messes with me. These little bitty boo-boos like this or whatever, I'll get these little pieces in the beginning of some piece that I'm doing and I'll get frustrated bigger than crap and I'll throw it to the side and I won't do nothing with it. I got so many projects like that, but I'm just gonna push through, keep going. I got a bunch of wood spirits that I started that I did that too. I'd get so far into them and it's just not going with the original look that I wanted. And I get frustrated because it's like I can't seem to get it back and I'll quit working on it.
Grumpy's back and he's on the stream, flying high like a digital dream. Aliens cruising by, they beam.
The 13th. Every 13th of the month.
What's the plan? Medication.
That's when they allow you to set up. And yeah, every 13th, I'm more than welcome to go up there, they said. And so I told them that I'd be up there for December's. My birthday's on the 7th, so I figured what the heck, I'm gonna go up there. I'll sit there. I mean, my birthday's the 7th and their thing is the 13th. Oh no. What just happened? Oh no. Hold on, y'all.
Grumpy's got the vibe tonight.
Oh, what happened?
Is it wisdom or just a lie?
Ah, my tip just broke, y'all.
Questions hover, answers blur. Who is grumpy? Who are we, sir? Flying high.
Right there. Y'all see that?
All a blur.
Right here at the end of it. Whoop. Opens up. I told y'all that sandpaper ain't no good. I mean, it cleans it, but dadgummit, it thins it out. All right. Let's see. That is how the cookie crumbled. Let's see. I got some wire, and I think I got some tips made in this far corner. I just gotta work my way into my mess to find them. My wire's right up above me. I can make another tip, but frick, I might not be able to. I gotta beat and bang with my hammer to flatten the end of it, and it's a little early to do that. That'll damn sure piss the wife off. Let's see here. Let's see. Here's an old clip I made. I don't like this one. The wood's a little weak, so I took the clip off of it, and I never put that one for sale. I'm afraid somebody would break it as soon as they got it. There we go. What we got? This might work. This is one of my older tips that I've done. I tried to make a shader spoon. You see how I flattened it out? I beat that with I hooked it up on my tool on the wood burner to get it hot, and then took I have a small hammer, or actually, what did I use? I probably used a socket, just get like a 3/4 inch socket, so I'd have that flat metal part or the round metal part, and I put it on there like so with it hot, and then I took my little hammer, ting 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 ting. How old to be an old man? I will be 49. On the 7th, I will be 49. My son turns 19 on the, 5th, 6th? Shit. 5th or 6th? Dude. Yeah, 5th, I believe. Yeah, 5th. 12/5. I think it's the 5th. Damn. I feel like a moron now. It's the 5th or the 6th of my son's birthday. He never stops, he never sleeps, his crazy energy. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead and drop the boo-boos. I always get them confused because when we go up to the pharmacy, they'll ask for date of birth, and I'll spit out mine trying to spit his out, or spit his out trying to spit mine out. So I've always flipped them over. Pup. I don't feel like no daggum pup. Everybody tells me, you's a young buck still. I wish. I might be a young buck in my brain, but my body is wore up. It begs to differ.
Aliens flying, zipping through the sky. Medication rolling, don't ask me why. Grumpy's live again, don't you dare deny. Hit that button, yeah, subscribe or fly.
I think that's the only tip that I'm gonna find in here, so I'm gonna quit digging. I have some. I remember when I switched my TVs around out here, I got rid of an older big screen that was my monitor and put a smaller one up. And I remember then seeing a couple of bags of them that I'd made. I was making them and then putting them in little bitty like jewelry bags to separate them, because I was gonna organize my junk that way. And then it's like, so yeah, I start to do a bunch of stuff and never finish it. Yeah, that was one of the projects. Okay, well, we got that one. I'm kind of stalling to let this thing cool off some, y'all. That's one thing with these wood burners like this. If y'all got them that, unscrew and screw and stuff like that, you really need to let it cool. It don't matter if you're wearing gloves or something. Oh, it won't burn me. You're not worried about burning yourself. You don't want to strip out your screws and whatnot. And when all that stuff's just steaming hot, it's just easier to strip it. And then I got that issue with my hands and my grip sometimes, so I take extra precautions. So goodness, sir. My neighbor, they're getting better with that surgery. I'll tell you that. My neighbor had his done and he was in and out. He was walking that day on his leg or his hip. Yeah, he had hip replacement done. So they've come a long way with it. His was getting bad. His was keeping him up. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't get comfortable. And so he had put it off and didn't want to do it because he was afraid that it was going to put him down too long on the physical therapy aspect end of it and whatnot. But he wasn't down as bad as he thought he was going to be. I wish that was Phillips head screw instead of flag.
Like subscribe vibes, words cracked and broken.
Where's my little flatty?
Cables hiss like snakes, venom in the wire, voltage jumps the
Bionic.
arcs of blue fire.
Hour and a half drive from home. Whew. See, that's what gets me anymore is the long drives. With the way my back goes, it's just sitting still for so long. I have to be able to screw. I mean, I don't sit still. I'm squirming and worming every damn where. But yeah, the fear. I feel you. That's how I was with my neck, dude. My back surgery wasn't that bad. Stupid me, back with my back surgery, I was all up into that. I was trying to look up videos and stuff to see what they were doing and what they were gonna do and how it was gonna be and stuff. I mean, it fascinated me. I was scared, but it fascinated me. My neck, that was a whole nother story right there. I didn't want to look at no video. I didn't want to talk about it. It scared me to death. Still scares me because the way it is, they told me eventually that I'll have to end up getting in there and having more fusions done, you know, and it's like, son of a gun, are you real serious? Because that first one, it was in and out procedure, but man, the recovery from that was crap. I still suffer symptoms from it. When I say the recovery was crap, it wasn't that bad. My main issue was when I would swallow. This is for the faint of heart. If you get squeaky, don't like hearing about gross stuff, mute it for a few seconds. But on my surgery, hey, good morning, Tim. On my surgery, it was an anterior fusion, so it was 3, 4, and 5. So they fused my neck from the front, not on the back of my spine, but the front of my spine. And so they slit right there on the front of my neck, right at my jawline, close to my esophagus, and pushed my esophagus to the side and attached all the hardware. Well, when they did that, that jacks your throat around some, so swallowing was something crazy. It hurt like heck to swallow for the first few days, and then once that went away, eating food, I would sit there and you know, chew my food up and go to swallow my food, and instead of it going down my damn throat into my gut, it'd go up my dang nose into my sinus cavities. And I've had Cheerio up in my nose, egg, noodles, you name it. And I don't know if it's because of the swelling or what, but I still struggle with that every now and then. It's like once or twice a week, you know, I'll swallow my food and go to choking and coughing because it's trying to go up my damn nose. Wife wants me to go to one of them nose throat doctors, and I don't want to do that because it's like, heck no, I don't want them in there doing anything like what I just went through. That's the bad part about a surgery again with my neck, you know. It's like, okay, put me to sleep, cut me, but it's that recovery part, swallowing and stuff like that, you know. Is it going to be worse than what I'm dealing with now? You know, that's what I worry with. You know, I had the perfect freaking screwdriver up in here for this. But it is what it is. Come the day, if I have to do it, I have to do it.
Grumpy's in the shop, wires hum a death hymn. Electricity crawling, spark section in the resin. Aliens in the
Come
corner,
on.
shadows doing
I'm gonna end up
lessons, blink
stripping
twice,
this
they
damn little
vanish.
thing.
Dimension second
That
guessing.
same bionic freaking couldn't feel shit hands tighten this bastard last time. I can't loosen it.
Smokes the sermon, preaching out of sight. Hit that light, hit that vibe, subscribe to the night.
I really got to get this place cleaned up. I got a big old tote in here sitting right in the middle of my daggone way. And my lathe being down, not using my lathe, I'm pushing stuff over into that corner on top of it. And that's the corner I need to get to. I had to get to my toolbox, find me a better screwdriver. I cannot strip this screw on my tool. That one will work, but I'm gonna look for one more.
Grumpy laughs slow, lights flicker like stars. Grumpy wants to ride, meds roll tight. Pain's a co-pilot, therapy's the flight. Smokes the sermon, preaching out of sight. Hit that light, hit that
There
vibe,
it is,
subscribe
right
to the night.
You're going back in the box. And I got to fill out my paperwork for my disability again. They want to evaluate me to see if I'm still disabled. Y'all don't know how bad that messes with my head. I'm so scared some of y'all who's gonna say, oh yeah, you're fine, you gotta go back to work. Fuck, I wish. Oh, there we go. Damn.
Grumpy in the shop, sparks light the cave. Hands on the wheel, spinning truth on the lathe. Epoxy roach clips,
Coming, Krusty.
crafted in chaos, every cut's a slice of life. Metal shavings, fall dreams ground to dust. Blueprints of pain, stitched with sweat and rust. Aliens fly
Look,
by,
y'all.
they beam through
That
the
little old
night.
flathead screw right there. He's being a butthead today.
Take him for a ride, nah, he ain't leaving the floor. Therapy's the work and the work is the war.
There we go. We'll put the big boy on there. All right, you're staying right there. You're staying right.
Pulling out tricks like a magician in the grime, every move deliberate, clocking out of time, made in pain, fingerprints scar to steel. Each
Hey, good morning, Miss Daisy.
each turn reveals.
How was your weekend?
Tight, slow burning the stress.
I just burnt the tip on my wood burner, so I'm replacing it right quick. I was having technical difficulties because I could not find the proper screwdriver, but we got her going now.
Nah, he ain't leaving the floor. Therapy's the work and the work is the war. Lathe hums steady, a lullaby, a grind. Epoxy hardens faster than the passage of time. Aliens want wisdom, but
Say
they
the
don't
struggle
understand.
is real.
Grumpy builds futures with his own two hands. Aliens fly by, they beam through the night. Grumpy's got the tools, but he's ready for a fight. Take him for a ride, nah, he ain't leaving the floor. Therapy's the work and the work is the war. Grumpy
Put
in
the new
shop,
one in
world
there
fades
on the
away.
posts.
Lace spin
I'm
stories,
just
night
tightening
turns
it
to
back
day.
down now.
Pain fuels the process, each
I
cut
try to
runs
stagger
deep.
the wire, you
Drift
know,
off,
and
Grumpy's
up
grind
front
don't
or
sleep.
towards the top on this side, maybe towards the bottom on this side. It gives it a little twist. Excuse me. Oh goodness, yeah, it's just now 4 o'clock over there, ain't it? No, you're an hour or 2 hours. It's 6:08 here.
Grumpy's in the shop, working the lathe.
I know you're behind me a little
Like
bit.
it's his own faith.
My sister-in-law's in Arizona. They don't do daylight savings in Arizona. Do y'all do the daylight savings in California?
Real, the pieces can fall, but Grumpy's got a plan to outsmart it all.
They don't pay attention in Arizona.
Aliens fly, Grumpy stares up at the star.
I wish we didn't mess with it, really.
A quick goodbye to the grind, the grit, the never why. Mez rolled up, aliens fly. Grumpy stares up at the star-filled sky, wishing for a ride.
I'm a night owl. I used to be.
Grind, the grit, the never why.
When I quit staying up so late and getting up early, I quit being as grouchy as I used to be too. It's crazy, that night owl stuff. And then it's like, never thought I'd be a morning person. But the body begs to differ, I guess. tells me get up or hurt. Alright, coffee. I guess that's why I was procrastinating starting so bad, y'all. I guess deep in my head I knew that was going to break. And I'll throw them a piece of the wire away. I'd hate for them to go on the floor, step on them one day and not see it. That would hurt. Alright, turn this on and see how we're cooking here. It's hard. Alright, let me get this back out of the way now. The tip is replaced. Let's see how it burns. We got it on about 7. Might need to heat her up some more, we'll see.
Grumpy got a package today. Let's roll tight. Ready to play. Was about to ignite the spark when the mailman knocked like a dog's loud bark. Package for Grumpy, that's all he said before aliens snatched him overhead.
This is a flatter tip too, so this is going to be interesting when I go to pull any line. Definitely got to get the wire out and make some more. I can do these little curved flat ones like this. They're not that hard to do. See, now it's pulling the daggum angle I wanted to pull too. I gotta stay with the one I had, don't mess it up.
They left the meds, took the guy. Package for Grumpy, that's all he said before aliens snatched him overhead.
Yeah, I have a bunch of the wire back from whenever, actually it's back whenever I found out about my neck. I have been done with cigarettes for a hot minute. I quit smoking cigarettes back in 2013, October 10th of 2013. I have it wrote down. That was the last time I smoked a stinky stick. And then when we went to the neurologist and found out that my neck was going to need surgery and all that, that's the first thing I wanted was a cigarette when I walked out that door. I always want a cigarette still. Don't get me wrong. I talk smack about people that smoke. Well, I don't talk bad about them. I just, I know how hard it is to quit. And so I do give people heck when they are smoking because I know you can quit because I did it. If I could quit, anybody could quit. You know, so I give smokers a hard time on that aspect of it, just because it gives me a headache when I'm around it. If it didn't give me a headache when I was around it, I probably wouldn't care. But anyway, I was stressed out bad, and we left that place, and I was jonesing for a cigarette bad, and I told my wife, I said, I do not want to smoke again. I said, but I cannot get this sensation to leave my brain. And we went to a vape shop, and I played with the little e-vapes back when I was quitting. That's how I kind of quit. You know, I quit smoking the cigarettes and was vaping the little bitty pins that you could refill, and wasn't into the big vaporizers, was just in the little bitty deals at that point. And I quit altogether, you know, I quit smoking, period. And then when I started back, it wasn't cigarettes. Like I said, I left that doctor's appointment, went to the vape shop, and I bought a rebuildable atomizer, big battery pack, you know, a bunch of new coils and all that stuff, and set myself up. But I did not get the nicotine vape flavor. You could buy the vape juice without the nicotine. And being that I wasn't doing nicotine anymore, that's what I got. I got just flavored juice with no nicotine in it. And I was building my own tips and everything once I got into that. I guess I used that and my ADHD and kind of jumped down that rabbit hole to take my mind off of my neck. And was making my coils, making all my coils and stuff like that. I got into it hard, but that's get to the point. That's where I had my wire from. I had the leftover nichrome wire from building all my coils.
escape. Medication rolled tight, cosmos reshaped.
Oh, but yeah, that's when I started vaping. And then I quit the vaping eventually, got away from it again. But I started making my own flavors. There's a couple of websites and stuff and a couple of YouTubers out there that show you how to do it. They different, let's see, what am I getting at? Those vape flavors, it's like daggone potato chips or cereal. There's 100 different flavors out there. You could pay the big bucks and buy the little 30 ml bottle, and run out of it in 2 days. Or you can buy a big jug of the glycerin and all that stuff and make your own. That's what I was doing. I didn't do the nicotine because you could even buy the liquid nicotine to add to it. But again, like I said, I'd gotten away from the nicotine long before I started playing with the RDAs again, so I didn't make the nip juice. But I had so many daggone flavorings, different bottles of flavors. I mean, butterscotch, candy flavors, you name it, I had it. Fruit flavors, I had them. There was even an artificial bacon, butter, asparagus. I mean, you think of something that would have a flavor and they have a daggum liquid for it. You take all these different flavors and get on this one website and go to looking up the different juices that you like. Say like just a random name, Unicorn Fruit Loops or something, and you look that up on this website and it'll give you a list of, okay, you need so many mils of blueberry, so much of this, so much of cereal milk, so much of this, and you put it all together and you come up with that recipe. I thought that was pretty neat, and that kept me busy. And I guess that was my carving at the time. I wasn't doing no power carving or nothing like I am now. I had zoned off. Y'all see where I switched it? Damn near straight right there, and I ended up going slant. This is the angle I wanted to begin with. Oh well. But yeah, I did that for a long time. So, then you have people telling you that the vaping was bad for you. You get popcorn lung, you get this, you get that. It's true. It's not healthy for you, but it's way better than cigarettes. And then the popcorn lung mess. If you used the safer flavors, they were discovering that some flavors had a certain chemical once they got so hot that was dangerous for you, and the companies were revamping those flavors and getting rid of that chemical. So you had like version 1 and version 2. Yeah, I did my homework on it. I tried to do the stuff as safe as I could. Like I said, I guess that was a way for me to spiral into just anything but thinking about my neck. Hey, good morning, Matthew. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I guess so. That would be my hot sauce. Chocolate chip cannoli was my favorite. When my daughter was still living in Virginia, we had went up there to visit one time and went to one of their vape shops, and I picked up a bottle up there because I was almost out of the juice that I had took with me. And I found that bottle up there. Then I I spent a few months trying to find the recipe for that one because I loved that flavor, but they wanted like $20 for a little bitty bottle, and you go through it quick. And I didn't want to spend that much money, so I spent a few months trying to make the recipe. I ended up cloning it. I found one recipe on that website that was close, but didn't quite taste like it to me, and then I played with some of the flavorings until I got it close enough.
Spinning epoxy, roach clips pile up, it's a little too foxy. Yellow and black, they're popping so wild. Aliens drop by like it's cosmic style. Colors glow bright, they burn through the night. Meds rolled up tight, and it feels just right. Milky Way spins in a haze of disdain. All of this magic is just made in pain.
What kind of wire do I use to do my own tips? It's nichrome. You have to look at your machine. Go by your, let's see, let me start over. If it's a machine like this to where you can change out your tips like that, if it's got a spot in your book that tells you can make your own tips, it'll tell you the thickness of wire to go by. It'll tell you the maximum gauge, don't exceed that gauge or whatever. That's what I'm trying to get at. But Oh, where's my wire? Mine is, I think 20. I was talking about the other day. It's 26 or 23. I can't remember the gauge that I'm not supposed to go over, but it's this right there. Just nichrome, just some type of nichrome wire. It can't be just regular steel or nothing like that because it's not going to do. I think it's this stuff right here. This seems to be about the thickness. This was trying to unspool on me. I've had these daggum spools of wire for a long time. There's my tip at. Is that off? No, that's on. I about burnt myself. And see, that might be too thick. 23 might be too thick. Let's see, what you got? 26. Where you at? Trying to compare them to my tip, and what I got there at 26 is too thick, so I might have used 24. 24 seems to be looking closer. I'll have to pull my book out. I was talking about the other day because I have a bunch of different wire, but I think 24 is as thick as what the manufacturer recommends me using for my machine. That's why I have to make my own tips with it. The Amazon tips are too thick. I've ordered a bag of those, but it's just nichrome wire. Ooh, excuse me. Leave that right there because I'm going to need to use it in a little while. I got my book for my wood burner somewhere. Like I said, I went through and it'll recommend the gauge that you can use. But like I said, I've bought the pre-done tips. The company that I got my machine through, they sell their own pre-made tips. But again, the wire is so thin, and I get heavy-handed, and they won't so daggone much for them. And it's just cheaper for me to try to make my own. But I am gonna invest into a different wood burner. And like I said, when I bought this one, I wasn't educated on what I needed. You know, I was just gauging prices and looking at different burners people were using, and everybody wants to use the high dollar stuff and get sponsored, I guess, by the high dollar companies. But Razor Tip looks like an awesome burner, but their tips are prefixed into their handpieces, so you have to order a whole little handpiece that you plug into for each one of the tips you want to use, and that's just too expensive. And so it's like I knew I wanted a machine that I could do my own tips, and then I found this machine, and I was like, ooh, that looks like it's a good, and it wasn't cheap. It was over $100. That's the pain in the butt about it. And so I bought that, and then it came with a few tips, and it gives you an idea, you know, what to do. And it even came with a little bit of wire to try to make your own tips. But like I said, I have my own roll. But it's not bad. But like I said, I had them issues with my hands half the time. And it's most of the time when I feel like I'm creative and want to try to do something is when I can't really feel my hands. And so making the tips ain't always as easy for me anymore. So I just go with the basics. This basic tip's not hard to do. You just bend it up real good, tighten up. Let me see. Turn this off. I'm babbling. And we need to make tip. We'll do it with one of these. I'll do it with this wire. This wire seems to match what I got. Babbling and talking about it, might as well make one, right? I just can't do the hammering part of it until everybody wakes up. That's what old ladies at the daggone festival, the vendor that was doing the jewelry, she was looking at some of my wares and was like, "Oh well, I couldn't use those. That's for that wacky tobacco." And everybody looked at it because we're at a daggum dispensary, you know. And she goes, "Well, I don't smoke. I'll do the gummies." I thought that was funny. You don't hear many people calling it wacky tobacco no more.
Grumpy spun the wood till it morphed out of shape. Lathe humming, hands moving, craft and fate. Epoxy drip, spines, bugs in a sculptor's twist. Zen found in the fog, some aliens miss. Eyes bloodshot, medicated, soul kissed. Peace found among aliens in the mist. Chronic pains, a ghost, anxiety.
See, I'm just bending this over. I'm gonna kind of bend this together. You don't want to pinch it so daggum. It's hard to explain. This again is another kind of just fiddle with it and you'll figure it out. You see how these pliers help out because I got that little hole in there so it don't kink it too bad, but it helps me close it up. But you do want those legs to touch. You want that tight, but it's hard to explain how I'm doing it. Alright, you'll see now how I'm getting them real close together right there. Now, this would help once you get this point of it. You gotta kind of just stop right there. I use the heat after this. I'll get this now. All right, I'm babbling. That's gonna be my tip, basically about the length of my tip. And I kind of bend this out, throw the legs out at an angle. That's too big, that's exaggerating it, but that'll help y'all see what I'm doing. Normally I'll put my tool, it's starting to come back to me how I made them. Put my tool right there and grab the wire, and that gives me a width. And then I can angle that. And see how I got the little leg to it now. Boom, boom.
Grumpy spins the lathe, hand steady in the grind.
Just kind of gauge it. And you can make your tip longer, but the bad thing about it, this wire is not as stiff, rigid, however you want to call it, as the other stuff. So if that part's longer, you're more heavy-handed, you're gonna bend it a lot. And that's the bad thing with me, is I get a little heavy-handed and bend them a lot.
Aliens in the mist whisper words of relief. Craft and cannabis, our escape from the grief. Turn the world into grooves, we twist in the vibe. Hit the bell, like and subscribe to the tribe. Lay spirals, carve out our stories in smoke. Art and reminiscence.
Right. This is the I've had this pair of pliers for many years. I need to get a new pair. That little doohickey right there, I got to have that right there. That little triangle on the tip. Yes, sir. That's the secret weapon. And then just clip your legs to length right there, and then there's a tip. You know, it's not done, but that right there is a basic tip. You can put that in your machine and go to burning and doing all this right here, but your little dashes will be fatter. And I haven't beat the wire flat. What I'll do now is, I won't do it right now because I can't do the hammer. People still sleeping. But I'll put it in the handpiece, turn it on, get it good and hot. I'll have it sitting over something flat, and I'll take my hammer, tap, 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 and go not hard, and go easy. You hit it too damn hard, the hammer will cut the wire in half with one hit. You know, but you got to heat it up and kind of tap it like you're using it, like you're doing some metal work. You know, act like you're building a knife or something. You just building a baby knife. But just bang, 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 you know, flatten it out slowly and keep it pinched together. You know, the first thing I'll do is pinch it real tight right before the tip. It kind of gives it like a teardrop shape. And then beat on that real good with it hot. And if you do it right, you can make the little flat shader spoons and stuff. I'll sit there and put the work into it and then end up hitting it too damn hard and splitting it and stuff like that. That's what I was running into last time I was trying to get real picky with my chips. Is I probably didn't have the patience for it and was trying to do it too fast. But I was breaking them in half before I'd get them to where I wanted. And then if I got them how I wanted it, they would heat up and they wouldn't last real long before they broke like the one did this morning. So that's when I just went with that basic shape like I showed y'all just now. That shape, you know, you can, like, I started with that and pretty much come out with that. It's off now, but you see how it's flat and it's a sharper edge. That'll help you with the shading or cutting your lines. But if you get you one of those cheap wood burners, I say cheap, they're only like what? You can get them between 30 and 40 bucks. And they have the interchangeable tips. They come with a bag full of tips, and half of them come with 2 hand pieces that plug into the machine. So you can have your shader tip on one of them and your writing tip on the other. And with me, it's just, I don't change tips as much because it's just, y'all seen the struggle I went through unloosening that one screw. I'll tighten this stuff down too much, so I get content with using that one tip. Try to make that one tip do everything I need. All right, babble, y'all. Let's look at chat. I hadn't even been looking at chat. Like and subscribe, watch the mood improve. They touch the tools, they knock stuff down. Little green hands trying to steal the crown. But with every cut and every spin, Grumpy's got this aliens won't win. I just wish I didn't have my aches. Get out there and get into more. I've been trying to push through it about the past month or so, but it does catch up to me when I slow down. That's like my back, goodness gracious, y'all. When I go to complaining about my back in the next day or two, and say I can't hardly move, I don't know what the hell I did, just remember I was trying to play plumber man underneath the sink. It's gonna catch me in a couple of days. I've had that faucet. No, I've had it long enough that I can't take it back. That's what I told the guy that was helping me last night. They just don't break the faucet. Break anything but the faucet. I cannot return it no more. I'm stuck with it. But I cross-threaded the plastic coupling for the water line that goes over the brass fitting for the faucet. I cross-threaded that cold water side when I went to put it back on. Yeah, I boogered it. That's all he had to do last night. He left and went up to Home Depot and got another water line and then come back and put it on for me, and it was done. I managed to get the old faucet off, unhooked from under the sink, everything unbolted from it, and I got the new faucet bolted in. So I done good. And I knew I cross-threaded that thing because I put it on there about halfway. And it threaded nice. It wasn't fighting me, so that's what was crazy, that it cross-threaded like that. But it went so far and I stopped. And I was using my hands. I wasn't using tools. And then I got the hot water line and started threading it together and putting it on there. that brass fitting sunk deep into that little connector. It's like, oh, I know the cold water wasn't in there good. And so I undid the code, redid it, and this was all by hand. This wasn't with tools yet. It was too late. I had done cross-threaded and boogered.
Craft wild carvings, man, they take flight. In a zone, no phone, just resin delight. Therapy ain't a couch, it's chisels and light. Grumpy's batshit crazy meds in a haze. Roll tight medication floating out of space. Glows in the dark, magic lit through the maze. Hit that like, subscribe, ride the creative blaze. Pour the truth in molds, let the resin reveal.
Yeah, well, them ones that's got like the soldering iron tips on them, those work good. They all have a place. You can get some of those tips that's just got the funny shapes to them on those and use it like a brand. Do them for like scales and stuff like that. But then these wire tip burners, you know, you have that horseshoe shaped tip that's bent that you can do the same thing with, and they just, let's see how they get hotter. These will get hotter quicker and they're more controllable. You can adjust that temperature, and don't be scared to adjust that temperature. Turn it down, because you can go over a spot a couple of times and get it as dark as you want it, but you got it too hot and you hit it once, that joker's burnt black and yellowed all the wood around it. You know, that's if you look in some of these lines, you'll see how some of it's kind of yellow on the wood away from the burn. It's because it's so damn hot. When I burn it and I'm trying to do it so fast, it discolors the wood. But you adjust that temperature and play with it. It's just like carving. You can fiddle with your bits and whatnot. You fiddle with the speeds and stuff you use. It's the same thing with the wood burning. Different temperatures cause your, you know, it burns different, you know. Especially when you go to shading something, if you want to get real intricate with your shading work, definitely play with the temperature.
Let the resin reveal. Art deep as the void, carving wounds that heal. Fingerprints and wood grain, Grumpy's real deal. Aliens just nodded, man, that's mad appeal.
But I do want to get one of the different wood burners because I want the other tips. There's so many different tips and they're so versatile. I want to be able to play around with them. Is that I bought some for this machine. There they are right here. But they're just so daggone thick. I have to run the machine wide freaking open just for them to barely burn the board. And within a couple of minutes, my handpiece is so damn hot, I can't hardly hold on to it.
Grumpy's in a cedar wonderland, shavings flying like
You got all these different shaders and stuff. This is basically the style tip that I've built. And it's a little tighter together, but look at the difference in that wire, the thickness of that gauge. That's almost like a paper clip bent up in there. It's just, I don't know if they sell some that are a thinner gauge out there on the market. That's what I got to look at next to see if I can find some that are thin. But that little old pack of tips wasn't over $10, I think, back when I bought it. And they got all kinds. And then the company to get these from, it would cost me, heck, it cost me more than $10 just to get 5 of these tips like I made sent to me because they're overseas. Get out of the way. Got to finish a video. I got a video done up today that I'm going to drop sometime or another. It's not long. Little mail call. That's pretty cool though. And the dust is flying. Every turn feels like dreams are trying. Stress and pain melt far from sight. Cedar Wonderland feels just right. Cedar in each hand, oh what a day. The scent of the wood takes stress away. I gotta make up some music to put into it. Under workshop lights, craft and joy in the quiet nights. Need to make up some more music for the live playlist. Oh yeah, this is one of my cedar clip songs. And then this is the jingle at the beginning of all my videos, I believe. Yeah, Santa Claus is mad at me. Leave it at that. I ain't getting nothing but coal for Christmas. Dude, I think with the way you do your sketching and drawing, I watched those lives, the way you draw with just a pen, you know, and then even add your color later. That's the cool thing with the wood burn, is it's the same way. You know, you could wood burn the hell out of it and still add color to it, you know. That's wood burned and color. You can still see my wood grain through it, everything. And that's acrylic paint. You get you a daggum thing of watercolors. Oh man, that's where it gets crazy. Then you start getting nuts with your color. I got a pack from Michael's that's got like 36 different colors in it, and I'll break that out and do boards and stuff like that. I like the burn and I love the wood grain, but when you put that watercolor on top of it, you can still see your wood grain plus the burn, and then you add that color to make everything just freaking pop. I think it's cool. And then yeah, dude, the way you sketch and draw, you'd have some cool burns. Like I said, you just have to get the patience and, you know, and play with it, because it's the same way when you draw. And I see how you draw sometimes. You'll take that pen and you let it bleed a little bit to fill in one spot or do something. It's kind of like the same thing with the wood burner. You slow down a little bit, let it burn a little more, or go a little bit faster and it burns a little bit lighter. You'll figure it out. You'll get it.
LaidBak sitting in the shed, scuffling with the wood piece in his head. Roach clips cracked and each one's a gem. Workshop therapy, carve problem stem. Will and his worries, chisel in hand. Lighting up the stogie, grains like sand. Cool wood carvings, medicine profound.
Just throw me some jagged spots out here and give me a reference to kind of keep me going at the same angle. And then that's all I'm doing. Half the time I'm just touching the board, but I'll touch and pull a little bit so it don't burn too bad. Y'all see me when I start pulling lines, I'll kind of trace my line and get my hand moving the way I want, and then I'll come and try to do it. I'm a weirdo. I guess we all have our ways.
Never underhanded, will and his worries, chisel in hand. Lighting up the stogie, grains like sand. Cool wood carvings, medicine profound. LaidBak, therapy's found. Lunch clips and more wood and fantasies. Therapeutic dreams flow with ease. crafting cool creations on two hands. Grumpy's therapy, never underhanded. With his worries, chisel in hand, lighting up the stogie, grains like sand. Grumpy LaidBak, therapy he's found. Grumpy LaidBak.
Just go back and fill it in, slowly get your lines tighter and tighter. And you can do that as a shading contrast too. You know, you can leave it all spaced out, or start real tight around the edges and space it all out, or get them real tight. Yeah, just, that could be a technique too, I guess. That's why I wanted to run OBS so bad, was to be able to run the music in the background. And then when I do get the better setup here, well, let's see, Mr. Roy over at Roy Timber Art Techniques, he's got a noise canceling, and then Matt Carves has got the same headset. They got a noise canceling headset. You cannot hear his tools when he's working. And then when he talks, you can hear him talk. And it's not like it muffles it to where you can't hear him. It's the perfect contrast, you know. You think the sound, you think there's no sound because you'll see him using his scroll saw and it's nice and quiet. And you're like, oh, Mr. Roy. And all of a sudden he starts talking and say, oh shit, yep, he had his headset on. But I want a headset like that. And then when I'm doing my lathe work, you won't hear none of my machine work then. And it'll just be music. And then when I talk every now and then, because I'll get in the zone sometimes, zone out, and won't babble. You know, and then that's when you got some good music to listen to. But then I start talking, and then, you know, the music don't overpower me. You know, you just gotta find that balance. I was gonna get that on my next order, but then my dust collection went down, so that changed priorities around. I was gonna get that headset, mold release for my molds, and then some colors. Then I was gonna go for the vacuum pot. I'm still gonna get that vacuum chamber. I gotta have that. That's gonna change the blanks I can make. When I get that vacuum chamber, I'll be able to stabilize my wood. Stabilize and then dye the wood. You know, right now I could dye my inserts, but it won't go into them, you know, and like barely soak into the wood. And so when I go to spin it on the lathe, you know, I'll just spin all the color off of it and then get back to the raw wood. Vacuum chamber and stabilizing it, when I put my wood in there to dye it, it pulls the dye into the wood completely. So the wood will be that color through and through. And then like the chunks of cedar, let's see, I have a lot of, I don't have, yeah. Where's a piece? Pull this out without making a mess. This is a piece of cedar. Split right down the side. It's got some bad spots in the center where the core is trying to rot out. I can take that, put it in my pot to stabilize it. And when I put it under a vacuum, what it does is it pulls all the air out of the inside of the piece and pulls all that stabilizing fluid into it. And then you let the vacuum off of it, you know, and it's there. Then you have to bake it in a little kindling or a little toaster oven for a certain temperature so long to activate that stabilizer. And then it's good to turn. Won't blow apart on you. See, like right now, that piece I just showed you with the holes in the inside and that split and stuff that's on there, I try to spin that on the lathe and it's gonna explode on me. And you don't have to dye the wood when you stabilize it, but when you do stabilize wood, you can add color and stuff to it then. The cedar, I wouldn't add no color to it. Not like that. And in the same way with just your epoxy, I can take a bucket of epoxy mixed up with color, you know, and put it in there under vacuum with that chunk of cedar, and it'll pull that epoxy into the cedar, you know, and then it'll seal in all the holes and stain it that color at the same time. So then when I turn the wood, you know, you'll see the different epoxy bits coming through it. We'll get there eventually. Well, with the wood burner, the shades, oh yeah. That's the whole thing with it, you know. You play with the heat, the pressure, the angle, all that good stuff. It's like carving, you know, you just have to play with your burr. I'll show you in a minute on a different piece of how you can do something with this tip. Because I'm using the sharp edge of the tip right now. But I got a big flat edge too, you know, and that makes that works good when you start shading and whatnot. But you gotta kind of bend them too, give them a little angle. I got this one bent basically to do my lines. You know, if I slow down, you can see on my dashes, some will get thicker than the others, and that's just if I slow down. Slow down, pull slower, is burning deeper, burning it harder. You know, and then that'll, like you said, that'll add different shade, different contrast to it. And you can see them lines sticking out just from that, going slow. With me, it's just trying to keep the same pattern. I'll start changing my pattern right in the middle of it or something.
Yellow sparks bright, black eats the light. The laid hums a hymn, turning wrongs to right. No looking, no dwelling, just the resonant will. The laid whisper secrets only silence can fill. Shadows in the grooves, ghosts etched in the grain. Epoxy binds the cracks, sealing up the pain. Epoxy roach clips spun tight from the night. Colors screaming loud, pain fused in the fight. Crafting from the chaos, hands bleed for the art. Epoxy therapy, where the healing starts. Yellow glows bright, black swallows the sun. The work ain't never finished, the fight's never done. Lace spins eternal through the wrong and the right. Epoxy in the veins till the end of the night.
The sun's coming up out there, it's almost 7 o'clock. And I can't go longer than normal today. It's back to normal schedule, holidays is over. I need to buy some clips. Still ain't got no clip action yet.
Yeah, the resin moves, flash of neon cuts through the dark. Smooth, drip, drip, drop, it's a steady stream. Crafting colors like a vivid dream. The slingshot is electric, neon bright, unapologetic. Lightning flash just out of sight. Grumpy's groove feels so right. The slingshot is electric, neon.
I did try to push some business that way. There's a guy, it's not the 3D Painter. I think that's his channel, the 3D Painter. He's in California, but he's, I guess, on the other side of California. Because I asked him if he's heard of Cool California, and he started joking around and thought I was joking. I was like, no, there's a place called Cool California. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. So, yeah, I was trying to push some business that way.
The slingshot is electric, neon
I don't remember what part of California he was at. I don't know if he might not have told me in the video. I don't remember. That's not, I don't like that. That little section, I goofed that up. Angles off a little bit. That's not bad. Alright, the rest of it, this is gonna be water right here. Be some water up through here, and then water right there. So I'm not gonna shade any of that. I'll leave that normal. And I'm gonna do the helmet and the suit. So what I'll probably end up doing is trying to just do straight dashes. Horizontal dashes, there we go. Across the suit and stuff coming up through, but not the helmet. I won't, or the visor. I won't go over the visor yet. But I'm trying to get all the lines to go different so it'll jump out like it did, but there's not enough lines underneath that, so it might, well, I got right here. It might still jump. We'll have to see. That's like that, the burn board I did a minute ago. It's Major Tom, there you go. There's no ground control. We've lost ground control a long time ago. Yes, sir. That's probably all I'm gonna burn on it today. I don't want to start and not be able to finish, because as soon as I try to pick up back in the middle of it, my lines will be just straight lines, but they still won't look the same. So I'll stop at that point. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna take and come through and just start doing my dashes straight on the suit, coming through there like that. And then again, I'll do the red on the 13 and the planet right there. And then I'm not gonna go just straight bright green on this one like I did this time. I tried to add a little contrast. I put a little bit of red in there in some spots and then went over it with the green, trying to give it a little topography look, you know, like maybe some shadow play. But like I said, I'm not the best when it comes to playing with color and stuff like that. I just wing it. Oh, thank you. I got to do that disability paperwork, dude. They sent me that. I got that the other day, and I have till like the 17th or some mess to get it back to them. Like, daggone. They didn't give me no window to fill that out. And I get overwhelmed, I start reading that stuff. I gotta get the wife to help me go through it. Like we just don't care. Hey, Mandy. Oh, good morning. The good healing shows. Aliens in the mist whisper words. There you go. You should have a wrench now. Good morning. Thank you for coming through. Turn the world into grooves. We twist in the vibe. Hit the bell, like and subscribe. I'm down on my lathe work at the moment. I'm waiting for my I have to get my dust collector going again. My vacuum went out on my last setup. That's the inside joke. Time's a roulette wheel. Grumpy calls the spins. Daggum, that's it. That is the word. Where craft begins. Is that or a bunch of bleeps? Confetti on the floor. Every turn, every twist holds a little more. Yeah, the alien was supposed to be Wednesday's video, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through it. I don't want to rush it and screw it up. I got another, let's see. I got that daggum heart video that I'm supposed to do, but it is so old because it was for DeLand's Heart Challenge, and so I'm talking about ancient stuff, so I'll probably just have to do a complete voiceover. But I need to edit it down some more. It's still almost an hour long. I think the end date for that challenge was September. I got the piece done, you know, and got my entry submitted. It wasn't like no contest or nothing. It was just calling out people that do some type of artwork, whatever medium you work with, but to include hearts and stuff like that with it. So I did that, the relief card that had the green heart with a little peace sign on it. Oh, my back's hurting, you know, I had to stand up and walk around.
The mist curling thick in the soft workshop light. Sanded edges, smooth stress exhaled.
Neighbors has got their dog out.
Of machines as it begins. Turn the world into grooves. Retwist in the vibe.
Sorry, y'all.
Hit the bell like and subscribe to the tribe. Lace spirals carve out our stories in smoke. Art and remedy blend. That's the inside joke.
This is another, here we go. Here's a sneak peek. That was supposed to be Wednesday. And there's more shadow. If I could go through and just look at the picture and try to shade in where this detail is, and then maybe try to pull down. And that's what I was trying to think about on that piece. Instead of burning it and like etching into the wood burn, try to use my tool flat and actually shade with it and not cut the wood. But that's gonna be a little more intricate. I like them, but I'm total opposite. I do not knock them out. My goofy butt, I procrastinate it because I'm trying to narrow down my idea, and then I'll get my idea narrowed down in my head, and then I have to beat on that in my head for forever before I put it on paper or something or onto the wood. And yeah, I wait till the last minute. That's like the Watcher challenge for Wowie. I still have to start that. I have it drawn out on 2 different pieces of wood, and then I had a couple of images on paper, and I haven't started them. I was gonna start it, and it was like when I was gonna start it was about the time the vacuum went down, and I was like, snot. And then they extended it, which was awesome. And then at the same time they extended it, Jordy threw out his little challenge, and I was like, I got those 2 I gotta do. Jordy's challenge, that'll kind of work out because it could be 2 separate pieces, and I'm gonna do a couple of little home things to hold vapes, like the little one that I got. And so I'll do a couple new ones and then just do a little Santa to go buy one of those.
Like and subscribe, watch the mood improve.
How do you do a solid color like that? Let's see, let me find a little piece of wood to play on. I don't want to do it on that one. Oh my God, daggone scrap wood everywhere. It's not sounded. It needs to be smooth. 2x4 please. This'll work. There we go. I want some smooth grains. I just broke that because that's smoother right there. Turn this on. This is where you play with your heat on your shading part. You can do this in a whole lot, a million different ways. Kind of like how I did, where'd it go? Like this one. I could keep going with those dashes and just keep getting them tighter and tighter and tighter and get the darkness that you want. You could do it that way. Or you can, let's see. I'm using the sharp edge of my burner right now. Oh, I turned it down. Let me turn it back. See, that was like on 5, and you can barely see the line it was doing. And then it all goes on your wood that you're using too. So you have to like get used to that and just play, you know, it's all getting used to the woods you use and the temperatures. It's kind of like the burrs you use and then the wood you use when you're carving. You know, a softer wood's gonna carve faster and easier, and the same thing on burning. A softer wood's gonna burn deeper and faster, so you just turn your heat down. See, I turn my heat up, you know, and I'm cutting with the sharp edge right now, making me a line. Okay, that's in there. You could feel the cut, right? All right. Now this tip's not bent for shading, but it's flat for shading. Yeah, I mean it's flat. So you take, let's see, where's my tool? I don't want to jack it up, but I do want to show you. It's on, it's hot, so it won't take much to bend. And you don't need much of a bend. Alright, you see how I kind of shoot it up a little bit? Ooh, don't burn myself, that's all on. Okay. And now I'm using the flat part of the burner. Let's see, turn it down. Temperature's too hot. Okay. I'm on like 5 on my machine, and every machine's gonna vary. But, you know, I'm not burning into the wood. You see how I'm just coloring it? And that's just a light temperature. You want it darker, just go back over it a little more. But keep your tool moving, or it's gonna like brand it. You know, it'll scorch it in real quick. You gotta keep a steady motion going. Or just turn your heat down. You turn your heat down, you can go slower and leave more pressure. But you can really play. If you can do shadow play and you can really work with your shadows and understand it, the wood burner is just awesome. Now you see where it's getting darker and it's lighter, that's right there in between a grain, you know, so that makes a difference. Yeah, little spoon shader. That's basically what it's a shader tip. When you get the shader tips in your bag that's gonna come with a burner, you'll have a variety of sizes and shapes and shit, but that's what they are. This is one, how it flattens out like you said, like a little spoon, you know, and you could tweak this one up even, take your pliers and put a bend to it, make it your own shape to a degree, you know, and you have custom little shapes, you know, like this would be a fish scale, kind of like, you know, dragon scale. You put a bunch of the boom, boom, boom burns all over the place, and they have different shapes and just so many different kinds. You know, this is one that's just wire, it's not even flat, you know, and then these for your drawing and whatnot. I hit my box. You have these little ball tipped ones, and this right here is perfect for when you want to do like letters or something and you want it to be real fluid, because you got that ball. It's like using a ballpoint pen, you know. And then here's a smaller one, you know, but I can't use these on this machine. This machine's it pushes it to the max to try to heat these tips up because they're so thick compared to what the wire that I'm supposed to use. That's why I want to get a different machine, so I can take advantage of all these tips. Oh yeah, dude, I'm telling you, when you get one, you got it. It's not that hard. It's just, it gets intimidating, but it's like everybody says when you do your wood carving, experiment with your burrs. Just get you a piece of wood and start playing, you know. And then like I said, the different woods are gonna react differently too. So you might get badass at doing it on a piece of wood like this, and then you get you a live edge cookie or something somewhere that you want to burn on, and you just like, oh, it's not gonna burn the same. So you have to experiment. You can get it though. You draw out awesome. So I don't see you having a problem with it. Ooh, big old head hit the camera. That's what I want to do, is get some nice basswood and stuff like what Amy Jo does her eagles and stuff on. Those live edge flats like that. You can do some awesome wood burn pictures. You take some of your pictures, like the little cottage picture deal you did the other day, and you put it on one of those LaidBak cookies right like that. You put you a little bit of watercolor on there, and you seal that bad boy over. You throw it up over there at Joe's, $50. I bet it'll sell. You probably even get more, dude. Yeah, people like that kind of work. And then just presentation, you know, putting it on those cookies and those live edges like that would just make it that much, you know, look that's much more appealing. You know, my boards are rough. You know, I guess I got that folk art look. And I'm doing that just because I'm using cheap material, you know, and I'm trying to make it look good. And that's the easiest way I can make it look good is by distressing it like that, you know, so. But I get a router and stuff like that, and then just get a little bit better boards, you know, like the wood, like this here, like the plywood I'm using is like wannabe birch plywood. And I think this here is actual birch boards for shelves or whatnot. You know, you take a piece like this, sand it real, and that's another thing when you wood burn, sand your piece real smooth. The smoother it is, you don't have as much problems pulling your tip across. Like this plywood is real grainy, even if I was to sand it good, because if I sand it too much, I'm gonna start going through the layers, but it's real ribby. You know, it grabs and pulls my tip a lot. But you can do something like that, and, you know, sand it up real good, route the edge real nice. You know, you can do a nice little picture, you know, make it look like a picture frame and then burn your work into it. And you can even use your paper. I've seen a lot of pyrography artists take the canvases, you know, your thick paper, I mean, you could do it on thin paper, but you just have to turn the heat way down or you'll burn right through it. But I've seen them wood burn on different canvases and stuff and make pictures straight on a canvas like that. But you got to be good, because there's no fixing boo-boos when you start burning in that canvas. Wood burning on the wood, if you get out of line a little bit or have a couple of spots you don't like, you could take your diamond tips on your little Dremels and go over real lightly like an eraser. I mean, you're cutting into the wood slightly, so you can't go too deep and too aggressive, because you'll be able to see it, you know, once it's done. But little boo-boos you can fix that way. Ever burn big leaf? Yeah, I do. I got a couple of leaf burns. Let's see if I can get into them. They're buried in my tote right now. I got everything piled up in the big old storage tote, and then I got a little storage tote inside of that's holding my little carvings, and then I think all the burn boards are piled up on the side. And I got a couple of images in my book that I'm gonna put on the paper too. I have to finish them up. Got me a tripod for the next event, which will be nice. There won't be no more shaking. I set y'all up on a tripod and just relax. The lives might even be longer that way. Let's see. Get these up. That one don't got color, but it's a leaf. There you go. That's about as big as a leaf as I've burned. Let's see, I think I got one like that with color. Yeah, there it is. That one. I put some color in that one, and of course this one with the colors, it's black light reactive. I gotta put, if I put color in it, it glows, you know. So it either glows in the dark or it flashes under that black light. Those. And my buddy's got one like this. I can't remember how I colored his. And then of course that one flashes. It would be awesome. Even the solder iron types, those still come out good. And that's just it. You learn to work with what you got. You know, that's what I say when it comes to art. I don't think there's a wrong or a right way to do anything. Is if it's accomplishing what you want, then hey, it's right. You know, you ain't hurting yourself or tearing stuff up. You know, that's how I look at it. And those were images I got off of Google and put on the board. But this is mine. I drew that. That's my image. You know, it ain't perfect. It's my goofy little mushroom house, and that one glows too. Like I said, if it'll pop under the black light. You can see where this one I couldn't tell that I smudged it because you can't really see it. But then when I put the black light on there, you can see the smudges on those circles. I'm like, oh well. Shows you it's done by hand, I reckon. Another little setup. Mushrooms is just easy to draw. You know, I'm not 100% a good artist, so. And then that one, that's a borrowed image from Google. It's not 100% like Google's image. I probably left some stuff out and then added a few little things here and there to change it up. I do that, and most of the time, if I do get an image, I try to change it a little bit to make it my own to a degree. And then another one right there. I like those. That's all me. I drew all that craziness.
Welcome to the shop. Gears grind, sparks ignite. Lace spin steady, cutting dreams in the night. Epoxy drips slow like a teardrop falling. Roach clips crafted, pain medication.
I do other stuff, but when that lathe is going, roach clips is my jam. I can zone out into that, and it's not mindless work. You have to think about what you're doing, but then at the same time, I don't try to think about what I'm doing when I do it. If I try to get at it with a specific shape in mind, 9 times out of 10, that shape don't come out the way I want it. You know, so I'll just get in there and, you know, knock the blank from whatever to true round, and then once I get it true round, I'll cut the end down, and then I just zone out and start shaping. And then sanding it, you know, it's just you got to really sand and polish them good to get that shine. So I kind of zone into buffing them and stuff too. That's what I was doing whenever I was doing all those. I was, I guess, trying to think about the psychedelic, trippy aspect of the hippie world and cater towards the hippies, I guess, when I was doing my art. Because I never set up anywhere to sell anything until these last 2 events that we did. And so it's like I would do some roach clips, do some wood spirits, and it's like, well, I don't have enough inventory to sell anywhere. Oh, well, I can do some burn boards for a while. My back's hurting too bad to do anything else, you know, and then I'll do those for a little bit. So all my work's kind of scattered out over the past few years, and it adds up to about a table's worth. You know, so, but with the burning and everything, you know, I'm trying to get back into doing a few boards every now and then and try to do a few carvings so I can keep everything balanced. And then I'm trying to get into making pins as well. I'm just now getting set up for that because the blanks I do for my roach clips, I make those myself. You know, here's one that I haven't spun yet. This would be perfect for a pin blank because you just cut it off the length right there. Then you drill the center out like you would for a pin, and you turn her down. You know. So, hey, my dog, morning. So yeah, my roach clip stuff will go right into making pins and vice versa. So I just got to start getting the packs for the pins, the guts in them now. Hey, good morning. Creating our escape, these forms be proof. I know this name, but I haven't seen it in a minute. Trading cards, trading cards. Fingertips control. Where do I know this? Therapy, the mission, fire feeds the soul. Ink in the wood grain, carving out whole. Lost in creation, feeling fully whole. Epoxy drips clean, blocks the vibe in time. Where have I seen your name at before, sir? Pain fades silent, buzzed up the climb. Aliens tracking thoughts, feeling so divine. I know. I hate this. I feel like a butt right now. Chronic pain, a ghost fades in the booth. Creating our escape, these forms be proof. Grumpy's craft cuts through that ether haze, shoving demons aside, calling brighter days. Therapeutic fiction set the world ablaze. Creation keeps healing, we move through the maze. Oh, boss man, come back out of that dark place. Come hang out with my crazy butt. I'll be in a dark enough place for us both. How about that? I'm not trying to make light of the situation by no means. I used Carbon Fusion World of Wood Carvers. That helped me back in about 2020, 2021, all that good stuff. I did. You should be blue. But I still fall in a dark spot in my damn head right now, but I used Carbon Fusion and that big carbon community and everybody, that helped me. That helped me out a lot. Yellow sparks bright black eats the light. Y'all all still help me keep going now. No looking, no dwelling, just the resonant will. The lathe whispers secrets only silence can fill. Shadows in the grooves, ghosts etched in the grain. Epoxy binds the cracks, sealing up the pain. I say depression's a fickle bitch. You just gotta learn how to dance with her, I reckon. And I don't like to dance. So that kind of sucks all the way around. There you go. Yeah, you're blue. Main thing is I'm back, brother, making sticks and wood spirits before you know it. There you go. Wait a minute. Trading cards. Back to your channel. Epoxy in the veins till the end of the night. Yeah, I'm subscribed to your channel. That's why I know your channel. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've sent you got one of my stickers, don't you? Yeah, yeah. Flying high like a digital dream. Aliens cruising by, they beam. Yeah, you carve in your shed. What's he cooking? What's the plan? And you're overseas. That's okay. That's why. All right. See, I'm bad with names, but it's coming back to me now. Damn it, dude. I'm glad you're back.
subscribe, don't just stare.
Spaceship zooming, lights so bright. Grumpy's got the vibe tonight. Is it wisdom or just a lie? Questions hover, answers blur. Who is Grumpy?
Definitely got to get this shop cleaned up.
Flying high.
I'm gonna be in a daggum mess if I don't do something with it when that dust collector gets here. I got the replacement bag that I ordered for it, and I unfolded the bag to see how big the bag was gonna be, and it was a lot bigger than what I was anticipating. So it's like, I definitely got to do something. I would done throwed it all out in the middle of the backyard and had me a damn bonfire. I will have my dust collector going. In a perfect world, I'd build me a little slab right outside my window and make me a little shed that butted up against the side of my house and put my dust collector in there to where it could be locked up, and then run my pipe or my tubing through the window into my garage for my tools. In a perfect world, but I can't do any of that crazy crap no more. Back before I blew my back out, I could have done that in a weekend with the concrete, you know, and then built a daggone little shed the next week. Because that's not a lot of framing to do. You know, like I said, in my brain, I could get it done. But in reality, my grandpa has to sling that hammer a few times. I said, what are you doing? Especially playing with some wet concrete. There ain't no way.
How does he do it? What's the deal? Aliens flying by, medication rolled on the standby. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Grumpy's Big Show makes you feel alive.
I wanted to be making Christmas ornaments right now on my lathe too. That's what sucks. Those would be a dang good seller, but I think I done missed the mark on that one again. I'll have to stack up for next year. Oh, here's a little Christmas tree I did. I did this one back in 2022. Spun it on the lathe, and I left a little bit of wood on the top, and then took my Dremel and tried to cut a little cross into it. I had two of them, but I broke the first one. I tried to turn it, and I used my tool and beat in there a little bit, and then beat on there, but with that cedar, I caught the tip and broke one of them off. So when I did the second one, I slowed down and just used my Dremel to finish it.
Flying, zipping through the sky, medication rolling, don't ask me why.
All right, y'all, it's almost 7:30 and it's work morning, and I got to run my boy to class today, so I do have to start getting ready to shut down so I can get on with the normal morning routine. But I'll be back into it. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do an early bird live in the morning as well. Oh, it's just with my crate. I'm a jack of no trades, master of none. I used to frame houses. I've done, concrete slab work. I've done it all. Plumbing, laid plumbing down before you put the concrete over top of it. Like I said, I've done a little bit of everything growing up. So a little shed, that's nothing. I should be able to jump out there and break it down real quick, but my body says no, sir. We'll get set up. We're slowly getting there, though. I just like I said, my main problem now is I got to reorganize my garage in here. That'll give me a lot more room. But all right, everybody, y'all have an awesome morning. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody has a safe day. Stay awesome, and God bless everybody. And Graydon, thank you for tuning in, brother. And stay with us. Come in, tune in with me. I'm always in here doing my lives. But all right, y'all have an awesome day. Thank you.
Grumpy's groove, it's coming alive. Streaming chaos, feeling the vibe like it. Love it.